What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, April 23rd, the 23rd day of Veda, and I'm still here. How about that? I can't believe it, and neither can you. I didn't have enough good footage from yesterday to make a cool, fun video. I didn't feel like it would be good. So I decided that instead I would be doing some, I'm sorry, I'm looking down, I'm trying to find the note file I have, but I'm going to review American Idol from tonight. It's a show, I haven't watched it every year, but I've been watching it for the last several. I took last year off because it sucked. I was like, this isn't worth my time this year. I just didn't feel good about that one. Anyway, thought I would review it and make my predictions on who's going to be in the bottom two maybe and who's going home. So, to start out the show was Gina singing Barracuda. I'm not a fan of that song. I'm not really the rock singer chick kind. I like singer-songwriter females, country female voice, but the rock thing's not my thing. That being said, it was a solid performance. It wasn't anything special, I don't think, even for that genre, but it was a strong performance. So it's one of the best ones of the night. I really didn't, to be honest, I didn't feel there were any performances tonight that lived up to some of the ones that have been in the last few weeks. There's been a few that may not have gotten the attention from the judges, I think, that should have, but there's been some that are better. Anyway, solid performance on that one. The second one in the first round, which the first round was rock, if you don't watch the show, was Sam, and he sang Never Changing Who I Am. The tweens, teens, whatever, the girls, they loved it. I did not. I was not impressed. J-Lo said she got goosies. I was confused by that. There was no goosebump moment within that performance at all. So that was overrated. It was okay. It was not great. Third one was CJ sang American Woman. He did it very much the Lenny Kravitz kind of styling. So it was solid. It sounded a lot like Lenny Kravitz, so it was kind of karaoke. Solid performance, but just not like right home about it kind of thing. Alex is my favorite contestant. I am biased about him, and I will say his rock choice, it was a bad song choice. I think the judges confuse contestants sometimes. I have a friend that was on the show, and they're like, oh, you need to branch out, you need to do these other things. When you've got somebody that's an artist like him, he is an artist, you don't need to branch out, because that's not the album you're gonna make. Make it your own and do your own thing because you rock. So don't do Neon Trees. But he did Neon Trees, Animal, which is a song that gets stuck in your head because it's repetitive and like just a driving mid-tempo, emo-ish, alternative-ish, rocky kind of song. And it's not my thing. His vocally, he sounds good. He's got some like tone in his voice that's amazing. So for him, for that reason, he's still solid for that reason. But that song choice, Alex, if you watch this, do not do stuff like that. If they tell you to do that, ignore them, because people that are fans think they give shitty advice on that stuff. Sorry for the expletives, but bleh. Anyway, it's going to be vote-wise one of the lowest ones. It's not necessarily the lowest vocal performance, or even near the bottom, really, vocally, but that's not all of it. And I apologize, but this is a one take, and you're going to get it. You're going to get how tired I am. And then next one was Caleb. He did a Black Cross song, Sting Me. It was solid. It was Caleb. He's very consistent. He's one that knows his thing. He's the rock guy, and that's his thing. It's not my thing, but I can appreciate the likability. I can appreciate the votes that he's getting. I get it. I like that he's consistent. I like that he knows who he is too. So that was one of the best ones of the night, vote-wise and, consistency-wise. It doesn't do anything for me, but that doesn't matter. Vote-wise, I think he'll be right up there on that song. Last one of round one was Jess. And she sang this stereotypical for her voice. Somebody to Love by Jefferson Airplane. Ugh. There's nothing exciting about it. It's what you expected, and it's very, kind of karaoke. She looks kind of defeated after last week being in the bottom two, which a lot of other people, when I said that, they were like, you're wrong, she's not going to be in the bottom two, she's too good, and blah, blah, blah. I know my spidey sense on voting, and I knew she was going to be bottom two, and she was. She was this close to going home and deserved it. People disagree with me, but hey, I'm right. It's not like I'm calling up the judges and asking them, or the producers. I don't know what the voting is. I know what I think the voting is, and I was right. Round two was country. First up was, you know what? I don't think I have the order anymore. I don't have the order anymore. I can't do these in order. I'm going to give them in the order in which I thought how they did. The judges did not give Alex, I think, nearly the credit that he deserved on his. He did Always on My Mind, and it was a song that if you were there, you would have been pulled in like you wanted to be in the front row. It was soft, and it was just melodic. The phrasing was amazing, and yes, he's my favorite this year. But regardless of that, I think sometimes they don't give credit to the subtle things that he does so well. And I personally think it was the best performance of the night. I don't think America is going to think that, and I don't think because of the judges' comments, which that influences voting some. Obviously, they showed the results, and he was in the bottom on the super vote thing. Whatever, that hasn't really predicted necessarily everything this whole season. I think he's close to being in trouble tonight, but for me, I really think that was the best performance of the night. If people go back and listen and hear everybody, if everybody does it without the video and without the judges' comments and just listens to the audio, I think that his performance was the best. Again, I don't think that's what America thinks. Gina did Carrie Underwood So Small. Matt Gerard, who is amazing, if you don't know, he did the best non-Carrie Underwood version of that song I've ever heard. And Gina did a good job. She did what she should. It was a smart song choice, and she did it pretty well. But here's the problem she had. She had, in the quieter moments, she did some really weird phrasing, which front to back with the band was a little weird. And she didn't follow through to the end of the phrase. Like she would drop off, or like prematurely do it, or hold things trying to be artistic beyond the end of it, and the ending too soon, ending too late on that, which didn't match the orchestration of it. That ruined it. But the bigger parts were very good, and she was very Paramore-ish, I should say, in her vocals. And the girl, for 18, she's very talented. She's not my cup of tea, but I could see where she could sell some albums. And so I think she did pretty well, but not all the way well. Caleb's second song, I think they gave him more credit than he deserved. It was another solid, consistent Caleb performance, which is what he does, and he does it pretty well. That one, he did, by the way, he did Undo It by Carrie Underwood, which I love Carrie's version of that song. His version, like, to me, it was like 8 to 10 beats per minute too slow in the arrangement. It just felt like I was kind of going through quicksand. And it didn't have the drive, because that song is like, kicking dirt and being pissed off, and I want to undo it, like, bah! And it was like, I want to undo it, and I'm working away at undoing it, and it just wasn't doing it. And I want him to undo it and give it another 10 beats per minute and do it again, because I think it could be decent if he did. Again, though, it was solid. It was probably out of 6, he was probably the number 3 for me. Number 4 for me, and this is a slight gift. I'm a little on the fence on whether or not to even make this one number 4, but I'm going to give Sam number 4. He did Still the One, which is a meh song for me anyway. And then he made it even slower and sleepier, and I'm already sleepy. Just talking about it will make me yawn. It was literally a snooze fest, and I know I'm a sleepyhead. I have hypersomnia, but it was putting me to sleep. Sam, don't do that to me. Don't do that. I like that kid. He's got some potential. He's just not mature enough in his confidence. He's not mature enough in his song choices and arrangement choices. He doesn't know where he wants to go. He wants to please people. He's a young kid. That's what you do when you're young. And he just isn't. He's not quite there. He's not ready. And I wish they would have not picked him this season, given him some time, because they always say, well, you need more time. And there's people that are 14 that don't need time, and there are people that are 25 that still need time. So this isn't an age thing. I just feel like he needs just a little bit more time. He's just a shy little dude, and he just needs a little more time. He just turned 18, but I just don't feel he's quite ready. Love him dearly, though. Cute as a button. Then we've got Jess. She did Jolene, which Dolly Parton did Jolene, and she kicks some ass, and she's like a little petite little sprout of a person, a little top heavy. Bless her heart. But you know, when Jess did it tonight, I like I said, Jess just is. She's not doing it for me. She is just not my cup of tea, and I feel like she's lost steam. She's just kind of, I feel like deep down in her heart she's kind of given up. She's just burnt out. I mean, it happens if you get kind of kicked around. That's just what happens. And I think last week kind of kicked her around, and I'm not feeling it. And then the last place for round 2 for me was CJ. He did Zac Brown Band's Whatever It Is, and whatever it was, ouch. I like CJ. He, to me, like if he did like a Sister Hazel kind of a thing, or some Hootie and the Blowfish kind of sounding songs, that's like his wheelhouse of what his voice is capable of. And he's had some confidence problems that have helped a little bit, but he's kind of like an introverted type a little bit. But this was a bad song choice. It was boring. It was Dullsville, Snoozeville, Everythingville, and ugh. So who's going home? That's the question of the night. I think CJ's going home. I think the other bottom twoer is likely Jess. Slight possibility of Sam. And there's a little possibility that it's Alex. And I honestly hope that it's not him. Sometimes there's people that need to get in the bottom 2 to get a little bit of a wake-up call. Like, hey, you've been sucking for weeks. He hasn't been sucking for weeks. Like, his song Fairy Tales, if you don't have it, get it on iTunes or Amazon. I prefer Amazon because they don't use proprietary file formats. My personal preference. They're not available until the next day after a performance on Amazon. They don't count for the voting. I don't care. I'm buying them from Amazon. But his personal song that he wrote called Fairy Tales is amazeballs. It's a song that if I hadn't been told he wrote it, I would have thought Jason Mraz wrote that song. And one of the reasons I want him to get to the end is because a lot of times they do the duets with like bands and other artists. And if they had him and Jason Mraz doing a duet on Fairy Tales or Beautiful Mess, I'd be in heaven. Like, it would be so good. I promise you. So go super vote him. There's time before, even by the time this uploads. But he's seriously so good. J-Lo had given him a lot of crap on Every Breath You Take. It was better than Sting or The Police or whatever. It was better than the original. It was so good. And A-Team, like, I don't like that song. I'm not a fan of that song. His version is so good. When I was working on my cakes the other day, it was in my playlist looping. I loved it, and I don't love that song. So I personally, he made some bad choices this week, and I hope he doesn't go home because of that, because I personally think that he's the winner. I thought it would be him, number 1, Caleb, number 2, Gina, number 3. Gina's been picking up a little bit of steam, and this week was rough for Alex. If it was this week, it definitely wouldn't be him. But if he gets back to doing what he's done right, if you look at the sales on the songs, you look in the iTunes store and you sort it, I look in there because I look at the sales, because most of the sales go on to the iTunes, and then I go and I buy them on Amazon anyway. But his songs have all the purchases at numbers that are higher than songs of people in past seasons that have had their songs on there for sale for a long time that were like the biggest ones they're known for doing on the show. His have exceeded those. So he's got this secret following that the judges, and they haven't really recognized it on the show. So this week was rough for him. Not his second song. I think he didn't get the credit he should, but he does not deserve to go home. But I like CJ's voice. Like I said, I'd love to hear him sing something like some Sister Hazel kind of realm of things. But he's just been really inconsistent, and he does deserve to get cut if it happens. Jess as well, and really Sam was given a gift getting the save. He shouldn't have gotten the save, bless his heart. You know, he's a nice kid. And again, of the ones that are left, really, stylistically, Sam and CJ, after Alex, those are my next two that stylistically I like. But performance-wise and in the show and under the pressure of all of it, haven't been my thing. So anyway, that's my prediction. I think CJ will go home. What do you guys think? I would like to hear some comments below. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, whatever. But I tend to guess pretty well. I'm being a little optimistic for Alex because I heart him. I really hope nothing bad happens to him this week. But I think he'll just be above the bottom two. I really hope he is. And hopefully not in the bottom two or going home. You never know, but I don't think he deserves to be in the bottom two. So anyway, love to hear what your guys' predictions are, and then tomorrow I'll have a regular vlog for you guys, and we'll continue this everyday thing. All right, guys, well, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.